I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to this video where we'll discuss some multiple choice test questions. All these questions are based on geometry and measurements, and they have been seen in many test papers. We have 10 questions. First, I'll go through these 10 questions and then provide you with their solution. In between, you can always pause the video, answer, and then later look into my suggestions. Question number 1 here is, find the number of points on the segment joining points A minus 2, 2 and B 40, 23 whose coordinates x, y have integer values. Question number 2. Parallelogram ABCD has the vertices, we can write this as has the vertices A 0, 3, B 5, 2 and D 3, 7. Find the coordinates of the vertex C. Question number 3. A triangle of area 24 units square is formed by a line with negative slope, the x-axis, and the line x equals to 7. If the x-intercept of the line is 3, find the slope of the line. Question number 4. If A and B are lengths of the sides of right triangle whose hypotenuse is 8 and whose area is 12, then the value of A plus B whole square is what? Question number 5. ABCD is a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle with AB as the diameter. Find the angle BAD if the angle ACD is 40 degrees. Question 6. The measure of three angles of a triangle are in the ratio of 1:3:5. What is the measure of the biggest angle? Question number 7. An angle is twice its complementary angle. What is the difference between these two angles? Question number 8. A rectangular field is 8 meters by 6 meters. If one side is increased by 2 meters and the other is reduced by 2 meters, then what could be the minimum area of the field? The last two questions. Question number 9. The difference between the interior and exterior angles of a regular polygon at a vertex is 150 degrees. Find its number of sides. Question 10. A wire of length pi meters is bent to form a square or a circle. Find the ratio of area of the circle to that of the square. Area of the circle is pi r square and area of the square is side square, right? So we can actually answer these questions and then look into my suggestions. So let's begin with the solution of very first question. Question number 1. Find the number of points on the segment joining points A and B whose coordinates x and y have integer values. So let us first find equation of AB, right? So we'll begin with the slope of AB, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we can say 23 minus 2 divided by 40 minus 2, so that makes it plus 2. So we get 21 over 42, which is half. So slope is half. Now, even from the slope, actually we can figure out how many points will have integer values. But it's better to find the equation. Let's find the equation. The equation of the line could be written as y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1, correct? So let's take this point. So y minus 2 equals to slope of half times x minus 2, that makes it plus 2, correct? So when you multiply, you get 2y minus, or we could take this on the other side and solve anyway. Let's multiply first. So we get 2y minus 4 equals to x plus 2, and that gives you the equation, which is x minus 2y, right? So x minus 2y, bringing 2 to this side gives us equals to minus 6, right? So that is the equation which we have got. Now, well, the better equation would be slope and intercept form. So let me write slope and intercept form equation. So I'll kind of redo this, right? So we could write this as y equals to mx plus b. So we have y equals to half of x plus b. Using the point minus 2, 2, we get 2 equals to half of minus 2 plus b. So that gives you the value of b as, okay, so that gives you value of b as 2, that is minus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So we get the equation y equals to half of x plus 3, right? Now this is definitely a far better equation to work with when we are looking into integer points, right? So we are taking longer, but the idea here is to understand that this time should not be wasted in the test. So integer values could be plus minus whole numbers, right? Now we are considering all the x values from minus 2 to 40. Slope of half means that the line is always increasing, right? So the line is kind of increasing, kind of like this. Now if you begin with a point with x value of minus 2, when we say y is half of x plus 3, to get integer values, x has to be even number, right? So x is even. Or you can say a multiple of 2. Only then you get integer values. Otherwise, you do not get integer values, right? So basically we need to figure out how many even numbers are there for x between 40 and minus 2, right? Including both of them, right? So we need to include both of them. So that is the strategy. So the even numbers will be 40 minus of minus 2, which becomes plus 2, right? Plus 1, since we are including both of them, correct? So, so 40, this divided by 2. So those are the even numbers. 40 plus 2 divided by 2, right? Plus 1. So half of them are even and one of the corners we are also including. So that is an additional 1, right? So that is 21 plus 1, which is 22. So we get answer A as the right option. Is that clear to you? So let me go through it once again. We'll find the equation of the line segment using slope-intercept form, and better way is to write y equals to mx plus b. Since we can clearly see what values of x will give us integers, we find that x is multiple of 2, right? So first whole number will be when you add 2, right? So you'll get 0, right? So 0 and then next number. So you get 3. 0, 3 is your next integer value. And then keep on adding, right? So for every value of 2 added, the y value increases to an integer number. So in this, between 40 and minus 2, we will have total numbers as 42. Half of them are even, that is 21. And since we are including both the ends, we'll add one additional. So 21 plus 1, 22 is our answer. Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now let's look into the next question. Question number 2. Parallelogram ABCD has the vertices A, B and D. So parallelogram will have 4 vertices, correct? We are given 3 of them. So let me just sketch one here, right? And we'll see how to find solution of such a question. We need to find the 4th vertex of a parallelogram. Whenever we are given A, B, C, D, we have to put them in a particular order. Either write them clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's put them in this way. So A is 0, 3 for us. Okay. B is 5, 2. C is not given to us. We need to find. But D is 3, 7. let's say C is xy, which we need to find. So how do we get coordinates of C? The best way is A to B is same as D to C, and they are also parallel, correct? So if you go from A to B, what happens to x value? We add 5 as far as the x value is concerned. Y value we subtract 1, correct? So if you do the same thing here, you will get your point C, correct? So let's add 5 and take away 1. So what do you get? So when you do that, 5 plus 3 is 8, and when you take away 1, you get 6. So 8, 6 is your answer. Option D. Is that clear? So that is a very beautiful method which can be adopted to find the missing vertex in any parallelogram. Got the idea, right? You can check your result like this. 0 to 3, you're adding 3, right? The x value. 3 to 7, you're adding 4, correct? So see, 5 plus 3 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6, so it works. Do you see that part? So it works either way. It is a parallelogram. These two sides are also parallel. I hope this concept is absolutely clear. Now let's move on and take the next question, which is a triangle of area 24 unit square is formed by a line with negative slope, the x-axis, and the line x equals to 7. If the x-intercept of the line is 3, find the slope of the line. So think like this. So we have a axis here. We are saying negative slope, right? So basically the line is kind of like this, right? Where the x-intercept is at 3. Then we also have a line which is x equals to 7. X equals to 7 is a vertical line, correct? So always at x equals to 7, we'll have the value of x as 7, correct? So it will intersect somewhere where the x value is 7, but we don't know the y value. You get the idea. And we are also given that the area is how much? So area is 24 units square, right? Between the x-axis and these two points. So the triangle, correct? You need to find the value of y, and then you can find the slope. If the x-intercept of the line is 3, find the slope of the line. Is that clear to you, right? So let's work with the area. So area of a triangle is what? Area is half of base times height. Now in this case, area is 24, half of base, so this side is 7 minus 3, which is 4 units, right? So it is 4, and let's say h is the height, correct? So that gives you height h as equal to, that could go 2 times, and half of 24 is 12. So we get this height or y value as 12. Since it is on the negative side, we'll write minus 12. Is that clear to you, right? Does make sense? Now, we need to find the slope. So what is slope? Slope is rise over run. So slope m is basically, you are going down by 12, right? So minus 12, and you're going right by 4, right? So that is how it is. So the slope is minus 3. So option C is the right option. Is that clear? Now these questions are very, very important questions, and therefore I'm taking my time to solve, and it really helps. Question number 4 is, if A and B are the lengths of sides of a right triangle whose hypotenuse is 8 and whose area is 12, then what is A plus B whole square? Well, think about it. What we are given now is a right triangle. So let me just make a triangle like this. In the space we have, so we say A and B are two sides, and 8 is the hypotenuse, correct? Now we need to find what is A plus B whole square. Well, A plus B whole square is basically A square plus 2AB plus b square, right? Now, a square plus b square is 8 square, right? So we could write this as a square plus b square plus 2 times ab, right? Now, so we are given the hypotenuse, which should be a square plus b square, right? A square plus b square is 8 square. So we get this as 8 square. And as far as the area is concerned, area is 12 units. Now see, area is what? Area is half of AB, right? So half of AB. So what we are given here is half of AB equals to 12, right? So therefore AB is 24. So 2AB will be 2 times 24, correct? So 8 square plus 2 times 24. So we get this as 64 plus 48, right? So that gives you the answer as 8 plus 4, 12, 2, 1, 10 and 2, 112 unit square. So the answer is actually missing here. Let me just write this as 112, right? So sorry for this. The answer written is wrong. So the option should have been one of them, 112 units square, right? So I hope you get it. A square plus b square is 8 square, right? Area of a triangle is half base into height, which is given to us as 12. So AB will be 24, 2AB will be 48. So we have to add 48 to 64 to get our answer. So answer should have been 112. Is that clear, right? So that is how it should have been done. Now let's move on and take the next question. Question number 5. ABCD is a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle with AB as the diameter. Find the angle BAD if angle ACD is 40. So it's better to sketch, right? So let's sketch the diagram. Let's say we have a circle. Now we're saying ABCD is a quadrilateral where AB is a diameter. So let's say AB is a diameter, right? Okay. Quadrilateral means 4 sides. Okay, so we just make one here, 1, 2. Let's do like this. So let's say this is A, B, C, and D. Now we are given that AB is a diameter. Find the angle BAD. BAD, we have to find this angle if the angle ACD is 40 degrees. ACD. So we have to find this angle is 40. Right. We have to find the angle BAD. BAD. This, the whole angle. Okay. Now, as you know, in a semicircle, when you make a triangle, it is always 90 degrees. So that is 90 degrees. You get the idea. So two things which you should know. One is any triangle formed in a semicircle will give you 90 degrees. Second, we have a cyclic quadrilateral. Inscribed in a circle, right? So the property is that sum of opposite angles is 180, right? So sum of opposite angles is 180 degrees. So that is the property which we'll use, correct? So we know this is 90 plus 40. So the angle BAD should be equal to 180 degrees, take away 90 plus 40, correct? So 90 take away 40, so that gives us 50 degrees as our answer. So option B is the right option. Clear? Question number 6. The measure of 3 angles in a triangle are in the ratio of 1:3:5. What is the measure of biggest angle, right? So sum is 180, correct? So how do we get the angles? Well, let's add 1 plus 3 plus 5. What do we get? We get this as 9, right? So if I divide 180 by 9, what do I get? I get 9 times 2, 20 degrees, right? So each angle should be 20 times this ratio. So we have the angles, which is 20. 20 times 3 will be 60. 20 times 5 will be 100. Correct. What is the measure of the biggest angle? So the biggest angle will be 100. So option B is the right option. So I hope you understand. So the ratio is given to us. To find each angle, we have to divide 180 by the sum of the ratio. So we get the scale factor, right? So that is your scale factor, and that helps to find each angle. Question number 7. An angle is twice its complementary angle. What is the difference between these two angles? Now, what is a complementary angle? So complementary angles, they add to 90 degrees, correct? That is important. So it says an angle is twice its complementary angle. So the situation is kind of like this. We have an angle which is twice, right? So if this angle is, let us say, x, the other one is 2x. An angle is twice its complementary angle. What is the difference between these two angles? So that means 3x equals to 90 degrees, x equals to 90 over 3, which is 30 degrees. We need to find what is the difference between these two angles. So the angles are 60 degrees minus 30 degrees. That is the difference. That gives you the answer as 30 degrees, option B, correct? Okay. Question 8. A rectangular field is 10 meters by 6 meters. If one side is increased by 2 meters and the other is reduced by 2 meters, then what could be the minimum area of the field? Okay, so think like this. We have a rectangular field which is kind of like this, right? Now, which is 10 by 6. We are increasing one and decreasing the other. So we could make this as 12 by 4, right? Or we could make this as 8 by 8. So those are the two options basically. You can find both areas, correct? So 12 times 4 gives you 48 and 8 times 8 gives you 64, which is a square, right? So then what could be the minimum area? Minimum area is 48. So we get that as our answer. Is that clear to you? So that also gives you that the square provides maximum area. Is that clear, right? So sometimes we can always ask the question as maximum area, right? The last two questions. Question number 9. The difference between the interior and exterior angles of a regular polygon at a vertex is 150 degrees. Find its number of sides. Okay. So as far as the interior angles are concerned, the sum is 180 degrees. N is the number of sides minus 2. Now, if n is the number of sides, then each angle, so interior angle, I'm not saying the sum, each interior angle will be divided by n. Is that clear to you? Now, how about the exterior angles? The formula is, the sum is always 360 degrees, right? So each will be 360 divided by n. We are saying that the difference between these two is 150, right? So we get our equation, which is 180 times n minus 2 over n equals to 360, difference is 150. Do you see that? So that is what we get. So difference of these two is 150. So we need to solve this equation to get the answer. Is that clear to you? Right? So let us solve this. So we can multiply by n. So we get what? Let me use a different ink. So we get 180 n, let's open, minus 360. This is also minus 360. And we get this 150 n, correct? So bringing this here, which gives us 180 n minus 150 n equals to, this is 360. taking this here, 720, correct? So that is 30 degrees, right? So we get n equals to 720 divided by 30. So let's simplify. So that goes 24 times, right? So we have option C as the right option. Is that clear? So some calculations involved, some formulas you need to remember. So you can actually pause this video, understand it. What we did was, we used the formula for sum of interior angles divided by the number of sides to get each interior angle. Exterior angle sum is 360 divided by n will give each exterior angle. This is their difference, equal to 150. We multiplied by n, so we get 150n on this side, and the numerators take away. Solve to find n as 24. Does make sense, right? Question 10, which is the last question. A wire of length pi meters is bent to form a square or a circle. Find the ratio of area of circle to that of the square. So how do we figure this out? Well, if I make square with pi is total, right? So each side is pi by 4, correct? Because there are 4 sides. Does it make sense? So the area will be what? Each side is pi by 4. So the area will be pi square by 16. Is it okay? So that is the area. Now how about a circle? If you're talking about a circle, then 2 pi r is pi, correct? So circumference is 2 pi r. So we have 2 pi r equals to pi. So that gives us r equals to half. Is that okay? R is half then. Only then the total circumference or the periphery will be pi. This is very important. Now what is the area? So area of the circle will be pi r square. So pi times half square. So that gives you pi by 4. Right? Since r is half, right? So pi by 4 is the area. We will divide this area of circle by pi by 4 divided by pi square by 16, right? So that gives you pi by pi square times 16 over 4, right? So that gives you 4 by pi, right? So 4 by pi is the right answer. So the ratio of area of circle to that of a square is 4 over pi. So unfortunately we have a missing answer here. That should have been 4 divided by pi. So let's write this as 4 divided by pi, and this should have been 2 divided by pi, correct? So the options, option C in that case will be the right option. So I should have had 4 divided by pi and 2 divided by pi as the options. And so the area of circle to that of the square is 4 over pi. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to solve these questions. Sorry for the typing errors, which might have created some confusion, but I hope that helps. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.